Hi there, I'm Gareth Marlowe, and here's a quick wrap-up at the end of day one of Business as Software for those of you who haven't been lucky enough to be out here with us in Boston. It's a beautiful evening, sun's just setting over there, and so here's my takeaways from the day, I guess particularly from my perspective as a coach. So day kicked off with Alex Osterwalder, great speaker, great thinker, author of the Business Model Canvas, Value Proposition Canvas, and he was really talking about the innovation pipeline and how to really play the numbers game and have a more systematic, structured approach to the innovation pipeline to really allow organisations to carry on being successful once they've reached the limits of their initial success. Second session after the break, April Dunford. I mean, it really lived up to my expectations, this talk, and more. I guess nothing new there over and above what you could reach from her book, but absolutely fantastic speaker, very funny and very engaging, and sort of really enjoyed that one a lot. Next up, Squints Down. Thompson spoke after April, an absolutely fascinating talk, and the situation I'd never come across before. Essentially, he had the chance to do the same thing over again very quickly after his first effort had finished for a variety of different reasons. So really, same customers, same problem, same service, same product, but he had a chance to sort of go around again, and the bit which I found absolutely fascinating was the amount of deep thinking that he put into what the various different components of life components were, how he wanted it to be, the balance between work and play and friends and sleep and exercise, and really trying to be deliberate about holding these things in balance second time around. And again, from a coaching perspective, I'm often working with people who've got that balance out of whack and they're trying to bring it in. So very interesting that when he had a second go with essentially with the same situation, he chose to be deliberate about those things. I really like that. Squints Down. Okay, next one after lunch, Whitney Urbana, who's an engineering manager at Medium, I thought nailed it, talking about OKRs, and she is clearly a very big fan of OKRs and the benefits that OKRs bring, as am I, and she's also frustrated by the limitations that the sort of the existing view on how OKRs should work, those limitations and actually some of the problems with them she's really thought about and talked about in her talk. So she was basically saying things like, don't try to really cascade from the organisation to the team level all the way through. Don't try and take it all the way through to personal OKRs and individual OKRs. And also don't sweat the measurement, which I thought was absolutely bang on. Think about the factors that you want to measure and ensure that they're represented in the key results, but don't worry about the targets, at least before you've got some sense of what the baseline should be, because otherwise it's just something that you're making up. So at best it's not going to work, at worst it's going to be counterproductive. And then we had the unconference session, and then the end of the day today was Dharmesh Shah. So Dharmesh I saw speaking in 2009 at my very first Business of Conference in San Francisco when HubSpot was just getting off the ground, and absolutely great to hear him speak today from the perspective, I think I can't remember how many times he said he's spoken, 6-7 times. So very entertaining talk, and just a whole wealth of insight and things that he's picked up. One takeaway from me, he was talking about diversity and that realization that I guess HubSpot had a diversity problem. This was something that needed to go and address. And you know, his ultimate takeaway from that is that the very best time to start thinking about diversity is at inception. T = 0. You know, get it going from the start, because if you get it going from the start, you know, you're going to be doing it anyway, and when you finally get to realizing that diversity is important and something that you need to address, if that's later on, then you're essentially living with all of the existing bad consequences of having neglected it for so long. But yeah, I am not doing justice to his talk. It was absolutely jam-packed. So that's the end of day one. Everybody's just, I think, finished piling over the bridge behind me towards the dinner. I've got some errands to go and run. Hopefully I'll be joining people later, and then into day 2 tomorrow. That's it for me for now. I'm Gareth, and I will see you next time.